Alright, so for those of you who don't know what this is all about, basically in the comments section of my reaction to Link Wars, and I hinted at a little bit the Heritage reaction that I have a bit of a hot take on the movie series versus R.L.D.S and HNGRY VII. And that basically is, I think that R.L.D.S and HNGRY VII are better than the movie series in my personal opinion. Now, when I say that, I am not saying that the movie series itself is bad. Far from it. I'm sure that all the crew and actors and all that stuff are fantastic people. I've heard good things about Tamash and all that. I'm sure Bensei, Beze, Obis, and all their friends are fantastic people. The life of the party, all that good stuff. And I am not saying that if you like the movie series, you're a bad person. I like the movie series too. We all like the movie series here. I'm not coming here to be like, you're all terrible people if you like it or any of that jazz. I'm just speaking from my own personal opinion. And in my personal opinion, it's the weakest of the trio of the Hungarian YouTube community thingamafudger, YouTuber, meh. The main reason I feel this way is the fact from the character writers. Okay, with R.L.D.S, we have actual character motivations going on behind everything. Lehel is just... Okay, in R.L.D.S Season 1, Agaton's wife / Lehel's... Well, not wife yet, girlfriend. / Lehel's sister gets kidnapped by Darkness and frickin' Nemesis. Why Nemesis does this, I don't really remember, but maybe just to be a dick. But either way, we have an explanation for our main characters to go after it that is simply easy to rely upon and makes sense to us. Even if they are using Darkness as the background and all that jazz again, it's, Darkness has never been exactly a deep character or any of that jazz, which is a mess of its own right. He's just... At least there's an explanation for our main characters. In the movie series universe, we have Bensei, Beze, and Thomas. And their characters are Bensei wants to beat Tamash. Tamash is this old veteran who has to come back and save the day all the time and constantly retires. Bensei constantly has a stick up his ass about trying to beat Tamash, even though he already beat Tamash at this point, but he'd beat him with not something that isn't his deck, so it doesn't count. And Beze is just a secret op who's usually the jobber of the crew until Obis shows up, in which case that title gets switched to him. Kind of the Yamcha effect, in a sense. And I'm just not, even though it's not going after season 1 of movie series. Movie series season 1 is fine, but it's just one of those things like, ugh. And even, we don't know much about season 2 of R.L.D.S of what the bad guy is, but either way we have a motivation considering the characters have been slowly progressing as time goes on. Because frickin' Lehel gets sent to frickin' Hell. I had to find a way to squeeze that in there one more time. And then comes out of it trying to kill Tamash and is on the dark side and is frickin'... And now has this little team of organizations trying to take up Mephisto, and Agaton's trying to do it for all this good stuff, and I may be freaking butchering the hell out of this storyline, but that's what happens when you try to give an abridged version of a storyline that's so deep that it goes on for so many levels. R.L.D.S has had about, okay, I don't know what the actual number is, but if you include the shorts, let's say about 13-ish episodes. And the movie series has been going on for 15 episodes. And I just described the plot of R.L.D.S in a abridged version and got freaking my head hurting. I can explain to you what happens in the movie series very simply. We all go together and collect the Egyptian gods and defeat Darkness. Round 2, Darkness has infested Tamash because Darkness wants that main character in Unity. I pulled that explanation out of my ass, but let's be honest here, it's better than the explanation they ever give us. What's the explanation they give us? There isn't one, except to get the god cards and be resurrected and all that jazz. Even that, and that's kind of me throwing my foot out of there. Then we get the frickin' Pendulum Knights, I believe, next, and if I skip the bad crew, that shows how memorable they were. And then we beat the Pendulum Knights, and then we have this other tournament arc where everyone has their decks switched over. And then, oh look, it's Darkness again, except not, and then Tamash beats Bensei beats Tamash, and then now we have Link Wars going on, and now we'll have frickin' Obis being the Sacred Beast Wielder. It is more straightforward, to be fair, and it's one of those things, but it's like that. And I would start explaining HNGRY VII's plotline, but at the point, if I got confused with abridging the frickin' R.L.D.S, do you think I have a fucking chance of HNGRY VII? But let's go with the non-Heritage version, since Heritage is not very complex. Gary Gary and Corey have a very simple dynamic at the moment, whereas he's trying to just uphold his father's tradition and try to hold up the fact that he earns shooting Quasar Dragon and all that jet is from his own father, and Corey is after his freaking shooting Quasar Dragon because he thought it was a disaster. Okay, I'm stealing mostly from the Heritage timeline, but that just proves that they improved over the years. So even if all this stuff is going on, and it's still being fixed. Because even Gary and Lehel are willing to admit that it wasn't as good back then. And I thought it was fine for the time, but if they want to go doing their thing, they have every right in the world to go and do that, you know? It was back in like 2012, and stands were different. Everyone has a freaking character going on here where David is maybe the third wheel, but he's not the worst wheel or anything like this. And then we have all the freaking counterparts and multidimensional bullshit and all that jazz. But either way, you still feel the freaking central character. At the end of the day, Gary's just trying to uphold this for his grandfather and all that jazz. So when his grandfather dies in episode 30, it breaks him into like the next level where he goes on a freaking murder spree. Well, attempted murder spree. He gets pulled back into it before he can actually do anything. He just hurts the bad guy, and injuring someone isn't as bad. And plus, they were evil, so it gets a pass. At least in media's point of view. But either way, we have characters that are going on here, and even if you don't think they're as deep or as R.L.D.S, and if you think the characters of R.L.D.S aren't written as well and sort of stuff like that, you can have your own opinions on the characters of R.L.D.S and HNGRY VII. If you don't like either series and just prefer the movie series, or if you don't like any of the Hungarian series, you have every right to your own opinion. But here's the thing: we can discuss about the inner machinations of the HNGRY VII and the frickin' R.L.D.S characters. What are the characters of the movie series? Tomasz gets frickin' mind controlled every other minute, to the point where it should be a running gag about as much as Mirror Force. Obis, he is a funny meme, but there's not much else to his character. Frickin' Bensei has to beat Thomas nonstop. Bensei is the frickin' secret agent guy, and he had one arc during the frickin' during the arc of the Pendulum Knights thing, where he frickin' gave up on the Teller Knights and then came back, which wasn't much, but at least it was the most character dynamic that most of these characters have actually had. Off the top of my head, mind you. If I'm forgetting some actually big plot points, so be it, but it's one of those things, where it's like, that shows how memorable it was. Oy. I'm sure there are more bigger things going on. I'm trying to say a big word and then my head starts hurting. And plus it's like 11 o'clock at night, but it's one of those things where I'm just bleh. Okay, so the characters are just simply better written in my opinion. And as for the storylines are just kind of more interconnected, a bit more. Like HNGRY VII is a complicated mess, but at least you can understand where it's going down with Heritage, and season 3 is pretty straightforward, more or less. The movies make it pretty easy. Okay, the stories aren't exactly HNGRY VII's strong suit, but at least it's something you haven't seen much before, unless you've seen Arc 5. But even with that, it's still something more complicated than freaking the movie series. R.L.D.S is a storyline where I have no idea where it's going. I'm hoping it ends with them all getting back together and being friends again, but I honestly don't know where this could be going. And with the movie series, most of it's just good guys stop bad guys in tournament arc, usually. That's not bad, per se. I have nothing wrong with good guys versus bad guys. Heck, I have nothing wrong with villains who are just evil for evil's sake. But we know nothing about Darkness and their wants and needs. We know nothing about Alexander and his wants and needs. Alexander's just a bad guy for when Darkness isn't around, or is there to serve Darkness, and we have no idea why. I'm really hoping Arc 0 comes around and fixes some of these characters, or at least gives them a characteristic that will help explain, like, why did Alexander join Darkness? Is he just... I don't know. It's never explained. Why did Darkness have an obsession with being infused with Tomasz? Shut up. Enjoy your duel. Okay. And that's the freaking main thing of all of this. It's like, I put it this way. The duels in the movie series are probably the best done of all the series. Give or take a few things, like Gary has clearly improved with HNGRY VII's over the years. RLDS is actually doing its own CGI effects on like Borreload and Decode Talker, so even if you don't think the CGI is good, you have to give props for a fan series to try to experiment with different types of animation than just being like, here's a picture of the card. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just having a picture of the card in my opinion, but it shows that they're trying to expand, because how easy would it be to just take a clip from the anime? Trust me, it's not that hard, but they choose to do it their own way and all that other stuff, so that's respectable in its own right. And the movie series probably has the best budget in terms of making it look all that impressive and all that stuff, but this is the final straw of like how it is. The movie series is like the Hollywood blockbuster of all that stuff, and this is kind of the main point I'm trying to get at here. Here's how I think it is. HNGRY VII and R.L.D.S are like your deep interconnected stories where you like the stories and like the deep stuff that's going on, and you want to know where the story is going. It's like it's just good entertainment for when you want to sit down and think about something. The movie series is a popcorn movie. It's a summer blockbuster where you don't have to think too hard about anything, back when that was a thing. And you can just enjoy a nice, good movie where you just, good guys beat bad guys, and it's very simple, it's very action-packed, and you enjoy what's happening in it. Kind of like what the old Resident Evil games used to be for a while. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting a big, dumb movie. It's kind of like your difference between your like Godzilla 1954 and Shin Godzilla versus your like Godzilla Final Wars and King of the Monsters. You're not going to get much deep with Final Wars and King of the Monsters, but you're probably going to have some fun. Whereas 54 and Shin Godzilla are your deep interconnected storylines of all that big talk, political stuff, and all that jazz. You've like one has more depth going on around it. The other one's a popcorn movie. And you know what? Sometimes after a busy day of work where you just had all this shit going down, not to all this crap going on in the world right now, if you're telling me, dude, I just want to sit down and have a fucking popcorn movie and enjoy some Yu-Gi-Oh shit, I have absolutely no problem with that. In the time, day and age, and this sort of shit going down, I have absolutely no problem with you just wanting to sit down, relax, and just watch some fucking fun Yu-Gi-Oh shit. And at the end of the day, does any of this really matter? Probably not, but it's my opinion. And really, at the end of the day, if the worst thing that can happen is that people like a movie series that's just kind of basic and is a freaking Hollywood blockbuster thing and all that jazz, and they just want to see their fun characters and all that stuff, just have fun and all that jazz. If they just want to have fun and enjoy, and I said have fun, take a drink every time I have fun, you'll die of freaking intoxication. You'll be drunk off your mind. But that's just kind of my main thing about this. There's not many deep characters. It's a freaking Hollywood blockbuster movie. And again, if you're in a state of mind where you just kind of be like, I've just had a hard day of work, I just want to sit down and relax and just enjoy this shit, fine. I have no problem with that. I freaking turn on Godzilla every once in a while. My favorite Godzilla movie is Final Wars. Sometimes I don't like deep characteristics stuff. I just want to see shit blow up. Not Michael Bay levels, but just be like, sometimes you just want to relax and enjoy something. And you know what? Again, that's perfectly fine. I just think in my opinion, the movie series is probably the weakest of the trio. Doesn't mean it's bad or anything like that, and I think that the movie series gets along most of it, but, and you know, if it wasn't for the movie series, we wouldn't have R.L.D.S. We might not have HNGRY VII. So, again, Tamash gets grandfather clause, where he's the granddaddy of all this stuff, because it's just, like, I say all this mean stuff about it, but I truly do respect the movie series and all that stuff. I do respect Tamash, Bensei, Beze, and all that stuff, because without all them, the freaking main Hungarian Yu-Gi-Oh! Series trio thing may not even be a thing. So, you know, it couldn't have happened without Tamash's crew. So even if I've been saying all this stuff of negative about the movie series, I am honestly grateful that it exists, and I don't think we would be where we are now if it were not for the movie series simply existing in the first place. So at the end of the day, I respect everyone involved in this thing. I respect Lehel, Agaton, frickin' Gary, Hikori, Tamash, Bensei, Beze. My cough. No. I have no respect for that one. I have no disrespect for any of the people involved with this stuff. They are all very fine people, I'm sure, and respectable people and all that good stuff. I'm just speaking in my opinion as to what the series they produced and my personal opinion. And I think that the movie series is the weakest of the trio. But, let me put it this way, it's 2 A's versus a B-. And at the end of the day, a B- is still a passing grade. Hey, no, not B-. Let's go with B+. We'll be nice. It's Grandfather Claus B+. Again, it's just my personal opinion. And it's my personal opinion, that is the way it is. I'm not going to rank any, like, which one's better, R.L.D.S or movie series, or R.L.D.S or HNGRY VII. Although, to be honest, I'd probably say in terms of understanding what's going on, I think R.L.D.S has the stronger edge, but that's just personal thing, considering HNGRY VII is fixing that with heritage, so, you know, once that's fixed up, who knows, maybe we will change our mind on that jazz. I've been loaded some shit. You know what's funny? It would be funny if it turns out the reason that Heritage is now canon with the HNGRY VII universe is because Shmirko's a time traveler and kept causing fuck-ups with the timeline. It's a butterfly effect, folks. Thanks, Shmirko, you fucked us all over. And the other day, I got to kick a German when he was down. It is 11:30 at night, and now I've just basically shot my entire argument in the foot by just going on a random thing when I was trying to sound educated. I'm American. I'm not smart. But at the end of the day, we all love our series, we all love what's going on, and we all love Yu-Gi-Oh! So at the end of the day, let's all have fun and let's all enjoy some Yu-Gi-Oh! Shit. I don't know how to end this video, so, he's the king of games? CS Dog.